Well, hello there. I do hope you're all well. Well, depending on where you are getting your information from about the catastrophic clown show that is Brexit, there are two ways you will look at it. If you're a person who goes gooey at the knees at the first sign of a plummy accent, start frothing at the mouth at the national anthem and hate foreigners, and find Donald Trump's alpha maleness too much for you, you'll now start believing that the evil overlords of the European Union are being great big fat meanies and are trying to punish us for being British. Oh. Or if you're a person who's a member of the Workers' Party for Britain, goes gooey at the knees at the first sign of a Scottish accent, who's frothing at the mouth at the Russian anthem, and hates Israel to a point he borders on anti-Semitism, you'll also think that the evil overlords of the European Union are great big fat meanies too and are trying to punish us for being British. Yeah. But for those who look at the facts, listen to the experts in their field, and pay no attention to the Brexit nutjobs like Mark Francois, Brexit hardman Steve Baker, or Queen Victoria's first love Jacob Rees-Mogg, or those who are opportunists desperate for either power or just simply relevance, like Alexander Boris de Peffel Johnson, Nigel Foghorn of ignorance, or Gorgeous George Galloway, knew in advance that this absolute car crash was inevitable if you leave the single market and the customs union. By the way, Nigel, I have a fisherman on the line, if you pardon the pun, desperately wanting to have a word with you about Brexit. Shall I tell him you're not in? I'm sure that I'll hold him off for a bit, but I'm not sure it'll hold him off forever. He does seem a tad peeved at you as well, Nigel. Speaking about the fishing industry, the new one the Brextremists are desperate to try and pretend that the evil overlords of the European Union are being big fat meanies about are the shellfish industry. They seem to want to have you believe that they want to make an example of us and hide the fact that the real truth is that we are now a third country, and we now have to adhere to the third country rules that, while we had a seat at the main table, we helped set up these third country rules and regulations. But hey-ho, why let facts get in the way of a good story, eh? Well, the other day I read a great thread on Twitter from a 8th generation oysterman called Tom Howard, and it goes like this. The phrase EU shellfish ban keeps being used by news outlets, and it's important to understand how this language is misleading and how government is deliberately using misinformation to hide from its own failures. As a producer of live animals, oysters, who sells them on for human consumption, there are, quite rightly, rigorous standards we must meet to ensure what we sell is safe for people to eat. One of the most important factors of this process is the issue of water quality. If water quality is really poor, high amounts of sewage or rubbish dumped, animals like oysters will absorb the dangerous bacteria and make them unsafe to harvest. There are 3 grades of water quality for shellfish production, grades A, B and C. These grades were determined through when we were part of the EU. Simply grade A waters are excellent, and you don't have to purify shellfish for these waters. Some of our waters where we grow our oysters are grade A. Grade B water means shellfish has to be purified before it can be sold for human consumption. Most waters in the UK are grade B. The purpose of the grades is to ensure we use due diligence in our treatment of shellfish. It is not a perfect system, but it works. As part of a large multi-country community, we were effectively able to sell grade B shellfish unpurified to our neighbours, where they would perform the process of purification before selling it on. Ideal if you harvested shellfish but didn't have a purification centre. At least 2 years ago I noticed, along with others in this industry, that if we were no longer part of the EU, then as a third country our food standards would no longer align legally, and we wouldn't be able to export Grade B unpurified shellfish. This was raised with government figures as a major concern. It was obviously ignored. We, the UK, helped establish these EU regulations to have a consistent approach for easy, free-flowing trade of shellfish. I said a no deal or equivalent would result in this catastrophe if it wasn't looked at. George Eustace is lying when he says it was a surprise, and when it was being peddled as a overnight ban. When he was Fisheries Minister, he was aware of these worries. If I saw this coming, then Johnson et al. Should have. The UK helped write the regulations government are now claiming they have been sideswiped by. We are in this mess because those elected to serve us were too lazy and arrogant to read the small print because they wanted adulation without the work. So it continues, doesn't it? The consequences of Brexit. The problems just keep mounting, and you get the feeling that this avalanche of red tape is just starting to gather pace. Where are you, Nigel? You've led these people right up to the Brexit door, led them through into the abyss. When they've turned round to complain that this isn't what you promised them, you've just left them to fend for themselves. Those who regret their decision in 2016, I do feel sorry for them, because people like Nigel Foghorn of ignorance and this government told them their lives would get better and they need us more than we need them. I don't feel sorry for people like June Mummery and those who still think that the sunny uplands are just round the corner if only Boris just grows some balls and stick it up to that dictatorial European Union. If you still think Alexander Boris de Peffel Johnson is going to come to your rescue, you deserve everything you get, if you ask me. For those who still want to prattle on about the vaccination guff in the comment section, again, well, knock yourself out. Whatever helps you to get through the day, I suppose. To help you save face on the fact that you were sold a pup, and you have been well and truly conned by the likes of Nigel Foghorn of ignorance. But you will still hold on to the vaccination shenanigans to try and justify your decision was the right one in 2016, because, well, can't use fish anymore, can you? Right, I'll leave the video here and I shall bid you farewell until the next time. Bye for now.